An Eagle Scout might not always do things right, but they'll always do the right thing. Now you can do the right thing for the Boy Scouts of America. Find out what it's all about, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Architectural Surfaces on Cannon Road off of Highway 501 in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on an upcoming Distinguished Citizens Award banquet to be held on behalf of the Boy Scouts, and we're visiting with one of its dedicated volunteers, Don Weaver. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Appreciate it.
10 days away. The event's getting close.
Yes, I'll be delighted to see it come.
I'm sure. That's right. It's back in its old heyday, and the excitement of being back in the Dunes Golf and Beach Club, but literally 10 days away, June 28th.
Right at the Dunes Club. Wonderful setting. You know, the ballroom there looks out over the ocean. It's just a great venue for what we're doing.
It really is, and a lot of special folks getting back together, and of course to see the reception, I think, is again at 6 and the dinner at 7.
Reception starts at 6 and then dinner at 7, yes.
So a lot of, and being up at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club, that beautiful view, it really makes you think about scouting.
Oh, absolutely. But you're right, it is a great place to hold this, and we are looking forward to honoring Edgerton Burroughs this year. He is our Distinguished Citizen recipient this year, and fine gentleman, and of course well known in the area.
Right, sure.
The family, along with himself, well known. So we're just looking forward to that.
Absolutely, and having grown up here, he probably went up to Camp Coker a few times during his early days of life, and the excitement for people who live in the PD or along the Strand, knowing that Camp Coker's been such a central part of their summers and throughout the year of their lives.
Absolutely. Of course, the banquet is trying to raise money for the PD Area Council of the Boy Scouts, and Camp Coker is an integral part of the council. And you're right, Edgerton may very well have been a camper there. Camp's been there for many, many years. Just a wonderful facility. But of course, like anything, it takes money to maintain it and to operate it. And so that's what we're all about with this bank, was trying to raise some money to help support the council.
You almost never run out of volunteers to be up there with the boys during the summertime, although they're always looking for volunteers. At the same time, you do sometimes run out of money. You just need more funds to keep a camp like that as up to date and going as strong as it needs to go to help these boys out.
Well, absolutely. The money, again, is for the operations of the PD Area Council. To be sure, there are just a number of volunteers that are out there that do interface directly with the boys. But those volunteers need training, they need support, and that's what's provided by the PD Area Council through the council office. And of course, as an adjunct to that, the council does oversee and operate Camp Coker. And you're right, all of those functions do need funds to operate, and we would prefer, of course, that the professionals that are retained by the council, that they can devote their activities to what they're there to do, and that's train the volunteers and support the program, the delivery of the program to the boys. So we, through the board for the PD Area Council, we try to minimize their involvement in fundraising, so that they can again
focus on their mission. Absolutely. Don, if a viewer needs to get off to work now or just get out of the house, is there a good phone number for someone to call about seating at the event on Thursday, June 28th?
Absolutely. Young lady in our office, Lori Teal, has graciously been fielding the phone calls for ticket information, and her number is
839-8221.
That's right.
That's 843-839-8221. Lori Teal, and of course, to know somebody, when you said in our office, I don't think I introduced you as a volunteer for the Boy Scouts, but that's if someone called and they answered Dargan Construction. Is that there, Dargan Construction?
That's correct,
okay.
Although that is a direct dial to her desk, so, but she is, as am I, with Dargan Construction here in Myrtle Beach.
Fantastic.
It's a Myrtle Beach number.
Okay. If you, are you originally from the area, Don?
Actually, no. I grew up in western North Carolina, Asheville. My roots are really from Weaverville, which is about 20 minutes north of Asheville.
Is that right? Any connection to the Weaver name?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All my family is from that.
Is that right?
Part of the woods, right. So,
and that's how close to Asheville?
It's about 20 minutes north of Asheville. Highway 25 that runs through most of South Carolina also runs out of South Carolina up into Asheville through Hendersonville, but then goes north out of Asheville, and
up to
Weaverville is right on the path there.
You still have family in Weaverville?
I have extended family there, yes.
Right. That is fascinating.
The Weavers have a reunion every year right outside of Weaverville, a little place called Reams Creek.
Right.
And, that's sort of the old homestead, if you will, for the original Weaver that came down out of Pennsylvania, I believe. How
exciting, Don. How many folks have a town named after them? I mean, it's we think about around here, we're Myrtle Beach, and we know someone, the Burroughs or Chapins came up with that to name, and surely doesn't tie into a name, or Conway, O'Ree, I guess that's got deep roots here, that named after somebody there. But, you know, as you think back to, that must be exciting there, going back to Weaverville, or going even back close by, or seeing it on a map there.
Well, it is, and but like any place else, you know, over the years it just changes so much.
Oh yeah,
it's not certainly not the place that I remember as a child.
Sure,
because of the growth. And Asheville has become quite a popular retirement spot.
Absolutely.
And those retirees are settling in and around Asheville.
Yes.
So Weaverville is a good location for them.
I bet it is. Probably a lot of retirees from all over the country. You'll go back someday, and they may have changed the name by then.
Yeah. Right. Well, what used to be, I mean, of course, nestled in the mountains there, Reams Creek is a valley, and when I was a child, it was just, I mean, it was nothing but green.
Right.
And now it's a housing development.
That's amazing, Don. Did you grow up in scouting?
I actually did. I never attained the rank of Eagle. I made it as far as the Life, which is next level, just below Eagle. But yeah, I used to spend my summer camp experience at Daniel Boone outside of Canton, North Carolina.
Right. Sure.
Beautiful facility, wonderful lake, built on a lake, also up in a cove or a valley.
Sure.
And my goodness, that water in the summertime, just getting the lake, it felt like ice water.
Really, yeah. But you'd get in anyway. Yeah.
Oh, of course, as a young child.
Thrown in or not, you'd get in. Yeah. You know, for viewers who may not know the basics of scouting, just as you think about it, when your involvement early on growing up, was it a parental involvement that got you involved? Was it a teacher or somebody from church or anywhere else that got you interested in scouting? And then what prompted you to stay in, do you think, Don? I mean, it's difficult oftentimes to look back in early ages, 10, 11, 12, whatever age. Maybe what age were you when you joined?
Well, I started out in Cub Scouts, which most boys do, and that's a great program. We had a den mother. In fact, my aunt was the den mother of my den, so I guess in that regard, family got me involved in it. But then, of course, the PAC is the larger organization. The dens belong to the PAC. But then all of that process, you just sort of matriculate into Boy Scouts from there. Most sponsoring organizations, that is, a church might sponsor a PAC, but would also sponsor a Boy Scout troop. And so you just move along with that sponsor into the next level. And but I thoroughly enjoyed the Boy Scouts. A great opportunity. We did a lot of camping, of course, up in the mountains. It's just a wonderful place to get out and get in the wilderness. And gosh, we would go to Lake Fontana and just Mount Pisgah, just all kinds of places up there to go camping.
And what are you expected to do when you go up there? I mean, as a Boy Scout, you're at that point a teenager or early teens. When you get
it's
in,
like
maybe late.
Growing up in the family, mother always cooked the meals, and she took care of all of that stuff. Well, when you get into scouting and start going out on these camping trips, if you want to eat, you have to do it yourself, and so you begin to develop some self-sufficiency.
Good point. Yeah.
In the scouting program, but even beyond that, once you get into Boy Scouts and the structure that's available for troops, it's just a great opportunity to begin to develop leadership skills. You have within the Scout troop, you have patrols, which are just a subset.
Right.
And then there's a patrol leader, an assistant patrol leader, and a treasurer, and they all have duties. But again, it begins to get acquaint the individual with what leadership roles are like, and what's expected of you, and the responsibility that you have. And of course, with as with anything, we all age, so you might start out as just a member of the patrol, but then eventually you work into patrol leader,
some leadership position.
But then you're looking out for the young ones that come in and sort of training them. And so it's just, again, just a great opportunity to begin to develop leadership skills, which obviously can be used
in many ways.
In life.
Absolutely. Even though a lot of folks have an appreciation, I never had any involvement in scouting whatsoever. Didn't know anything about it. And growing up in an apartment in our environment, we just didn't come into contact with scouting in our little nook there in Durham. But of course, for a lot of folks, they can still get involved in scouting at a later point. Another reason why people ought to think about picking up the phone, calling Lori Teal at the 839-8221 number, so that they can be out there on the Thursday, June 28th. But even if that's a bad day for them, they could still get some information from Lori. I'm sure Lori can give them the number at the PD Area Council to learn more about scouting in general and some of the other activities if they're not available on Thursday the 28th.
To be sure, yeah, Lori can answer all those questions, or put the person in touch with the council office where that information would be available.
Absolutely. As you think getting involved in scouting, and for you, did you ever get any other family involved in scouting, Don? Well,
I have an older brother, that's 2 years older, and he was, we were in the same troop together, so we did a lot together as scouts until he aged out. Of course, I was in it for a little while after he left, but and a cousin, I had a cousin that was involved. In fact, he did go on to become an Eagle Scout.
Is that right? Yeah.
He was able to complete all of that.
Share with viewers the significance of Eagle Scout, and you said you attained the rank of life. Well, what's the difference between life and Eagle, and what has to be done for someone to achieve the Eagle status?
Well, basically the levels are a function of age and requirements that you get behind you, and I'll be honest with you, I can't name
not to put you on the spot. But, sure.
One of the things that's offered in scouting are these merit badges. Which, basically, it's like a survey of any particular subject. Just take photography, for instance. And so to get the photography merit badge, you basically learn the fundamentals of photography.